By the way, this lawn is completely covered in oxalis. This stuff is a neglected lawn's worst nightmare. As you can see, it will have no trouble completely taking raiders in your garden, especially at a time where a lot of other flowers and plants are dormant. But if you're going for a nice clean lawn, then a substance called oxalic acid, which is toxic, but it probably can't be that toxic because I used to eat quite a few of these. If you've ever gone over there, so if you are going around with a whippersnipper, you probably should wear a mask. Anyway, that's enough yapping about oxalis. Let's get straight back into work. Can see the light of the day again. I don't think they were having too much fun beneath all of the oxalis there. Now there are over 300 distinct species to grow these. You want to give them a lot of sun. Like all irises, they make beautiful flowers. They all have 6 petals. They come in auger. All you have to do is expose the garden bed. All right, so as some of you know, at the end of last week's episode, I broke my old, doesn't come with a spring. And when it broke last week, the spring fell out and there was no finding it. I'm not even sure where it fell out, which means I'm not gonna be able to, let's just do what we can with this. And tomorrow we'll get that new spring. Brown at the tips, so we're going to have to be a lot more careful than that in the future. It's actually... Rotten Adam's apple. I think I'm gonna need a whole face and neck shield for this. Oh. Sorry guys, it's mostly probably my low pain tolerance. Look at that. That's going to help my wrist. So now let's cut down this wisteria vine. for spoiling me last week. I am so happy that I have this now. And take off right here from where we left off. Hope you're enjoying the show, and I'll see you tomorrow. And Carl, if you're watching, thank you so much for the tuts for sure. So thank you so much. Now let's get some clippings on here. From a lot of rot. So it is important to give your geraniums a big hard prune every now and then. It's also a very easy plant to shape and propagate to keep him in his place. They also make very pretty little ruffled pink flowers, as you can see. Stuff like that. Keep in mind though, you do need to crush the leaves to put that on your skin in order for it to work. I wish it was as easy as just planting a few geraniums, exposing this border, and then who knows what's next. A little bit too heavy for their own good, so they can break, which also leads to a lot of rot in there. That's why it's important to stay on top of these. I've never seen anything like this in my whole life. I think we're gonna have to get the guns out for this one. For snakes come summer, so definitely want to try and sort this out. Bit more concrete than I thought around here. Okay, it's actually not too bad. Okay, out of full transparency for you guys, waste in the backyard of this property, as when this property gets knocked down, there's going to be a bunch of skip bins there anyway, and they can collect all over the street. But I just wanted to be honest with you guys, and I'm probably not going to be doing any dump runs on this particular job. Some of you might hate me for it. Let's pretend we didn't see that, hey? Okay, so this vine here is a wisteria vine, and this is an example of what it will do. I would not be surprised if it literally took down the house. Obviously it will take some time, but these are some of the strongest and most prune it multiple times per year. It will get out of hand. I guess the plus side is they are an extraordinarily beautiful plant. They make very growing on the front door, probably screams abandoned. And this is the kind of stuff that can definitely attract unwanted behavior. So okay, unfortunately I don't have any night vision goggles, so we're going to come back tomorrow, but stay tuned. I've got a feeling this garden but that wisteria like butter, so couldn't be happy with these. And I don't think I'll be strong enough to break these either, so these should last. Oh, sorry about that. I'll tell you what, they're pretty smart. But, so, I like birds and lizards equally, so I'm going to give him a fighting chance. Rhizomes from the ground as possible, because that'll be the difference between this stuff completely taking over this garden bed again in 2 weeks. So if we got the whipper snipper out, we would probably completely destroy the plants that we want to keep in this garden bed. Like this beautiful lamandra here, for example, are also super tough, like really tough. So they're very good for weaving baskets or weaving anything. Preserve these plants as much as we can. So now we know exactly where the plants that we want to keep are. We can probably finish this garden bed off with the whipper snipper just to get rid of that, and then we'll clear all of the oxalis from this lamandra, and then this garden bed is done. Okay, by the way, I've done this totally by accident, but you can break them off here, just as long as there are some roots on this side of the plant. And if you get this back in the ground very quickly, it'll tap them. There we go. Should be right now. For that, because I'm worried if I get stuck into this, I'm going to end up running out of time to get those garden beds done. So let's head over that way. It's actually maintaining quite a good shape. There's just a few stragglers that we want to get rid of. Now, because these are a winter flowering plant, winter is actually, you can give it a really light prune, but that's about as far as you can go. We're just going to get rid of a couple of the stragglers, but as you can see, it's a wonderful hedge. It is very good at of pinkish white flowers, and they're just absolutely beautiful when they're in full bloom, which this one is about to be. So let's get straight into it. We'll also try and remove some. You might need something better than the kids' toy as well when you're trying to prune these, because they are quite tough. By the way, these are some of the spent flowers, which I'm trying to prune off, and I'm being very careful to basically only take this much off. So let's do that and make the base look nice. They are a very low maintenance plant, but this is what happens if you do let them go crazy. They basically just become one big clump. It's between the leaves alone, but the flower stalks are distinctly different between the two. I'll show you. Or African irises are not. So if you're from Australia, I would always go with Lamandra over the fortnight lily. But there you go, they are very hard to tell. All right, let's move on from this area, but before we do, I can't get over how beautiful this bear's breeches is. Lugs here in our winters, but in this case, this one is actually really, really healthy. They send a massive flower spike into the air that often reaches in your garden. Just keep in mind, it will most likely be a permanent fixture. If you want to get this out of the ground, you pretty much need to dig it out completely, and any... don't think anyone's going to be messing with me now. All right, you beauties. Tomorrow we'll probably have this place finished up. We're going to give it a final mow and really make the edge pop, and then I'll see you all tomorrow. This is pretty typical of a bear's breach, by the way. This is what happens when your slugs get to them. So they really don't look pretty and they've got holes all over them. One of the last jobs on the list is get rid of this tree here. This guy is growing well out onto the footpath. It's also been previously removed, and when these trees grow from suckers like this, they never end up looking very good anyway. So let's get rid of it. Back to just the bare gravel, a little bit like it is in this photo here, but I'm starting to realize that that is going to be very unrealistic, what I'm willing to do for an abandoned property. So I think we'll just tidy it up a little bit more, just make it look neat and tidy, and it should be acceptable. Alright, this might flick up too many rocks, but let's... we've got hectic garden makeovers, then check out the video at the end of the before and after photos. I'm not sure whether that or this was worse, but if you want to see me up all next week. Now, Hello and welcome to the Garden Rescue. My name is Guillaume and today I bring you the highly anticipated part 2. I got rid of every single weed from the side of the house there as that was becoming a bit of a fire hazard. And this week, as you can see, there is still a lot to be done. She's definitely really keen to get this yard looking good again. So I figured we can't let that opportunity go to waste. Anyway, this week's, as you can see, there's quite a bit of rubbish here. There's also an unbelievable amount of grass growing here. So I'm not sure of this yard. We've got a massive apricot tree. Now, sadly, this is a dying apricot tree, but I'll get to that in the episode. The main is, remember Richard's front lawn a few weeks ago? This might give it a run for its money, as well as the fact that it's growing among a whole bunch of rubbish, which I absolutely hate. So we're going to see what we can do with this today. I'm not sure if we're going to take the weed mat off or leave it there for now. Work to do here. Don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel. These free makeovers are only possible because of you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. This did say that the owner of the skip in gave us some permission to put some hard rubbish in there. But first I want to fill this up with more grass clippings. There's going to be quite a bit of lawn. And I wouldn't be surprised if this gets brimmed with just lawn clippings. Wrong fuel. Stink must have fled the scene pretty quick and lost his tail. do a bit of whipple snipping and have a think about it, because this is truly gargantuan. This guy's not going to cut it. I think we're going to have to start using the green bins now. So Athens has told me that all of this stuff was dumped by her son when her son was doing landscaping work. But since he has been going through back injury, the green skip bin in the driveway there, but it's only going to be here for another day or so. So before I go today, I know that there's a big log in here and make the whole yard look nice, and then see what we can do with all of the rubble here. I'm not sure if you can see all this stuff, but there's just all kinds of random materials. Gets a general waste skip bin that I'm more than happy to spend a bit more time and fill it up. She insists that I not worry about this though, but here it's free of charge. You can leave stuff like mattresses and old furniture and stuff out the front, and the council will come and take it away for you. So all this, by the way, look at that, there's a big open gap under there. Anything could be living in there. Hopefully not a brown snake though. I've never seen any. And then I'll come back and continue when I have more energy. See you guys soon. I feel like we've done a pretty good job at filling it up. That's all grass clippings, by the way. And Athens also wants that little barbecue put back under the veranda, so we're going to do that. Just going to give the top a little pull test, make sure I can still pull it. Hatched a genius plan to put all the small rubbish in this bag here that I bought from Bunnings, and then drag it out the front where it can be ready to put. That is so blue. A lot of spiders. Alright, I'm probably going to have to stop somewhere around here. Unfortunately, there are limits to my capabilities. Honestly, I probably need an excavator. There is so much rubble. Just work up to this pile, try and make it look as neat as I can. If I somehow get 1 million subscribers from this video, I'll get an excavator and come back. If I had more resources and more tools, I'd smash this out, but honestly, I don't even know what I would need for this. So I'm just going to try and get this stinking cone, put a garden over it or something. Trying to go over it without the catcher, but as you can see, it's pretty much a sketcher. It's every 5 seconds I have to empty it, so I'm in a bit of a pickle here, but we'll get it done. It's way too messy. And it's so thick, it's just going to literally kill the whole thing, which, I mean, it could be a good thing though, but yeah, I don't know. As the lawnmower, but we'll see. This is 10 times harder than... I'm not sure if you can see in the background the skip in there, but it's pretty full, so I'm starting with... It's a lot of cow food. Alright, so tonight's been night, but... Ladies and gents, I'll see you all tomorrow. Wow, I can't believe that worked. Should try it over here as well. Alright, ready? We're going to use the line trimmer now on this cow food because the lawnmower is struggling a lot. The Ninja Star is way too hard, so the only... Let's see if the lawnmower can finish the job. The worst part about all this is that it's really wet. This is literally rake or the lawnmower to pick it all up, so I'm just double handling it at that point. And as bad as it looks, I actually think that what I'm doing is probably the easiest way. I could be not too far to go now, hopefully. dead branch under there. I'm just going to get that guy. So we're going to have to work pretty hard to get the rest of this done. As you can see, there's still a massive pile of rubbish and rubble. It's very expensive and something that I can't really deal with at this stage, being a small channel. Unless you guys all subscribe and I get to 1 million subs, see what we can get finished tomorrow. Okay, looks like there's rubble and rubbish to do here, but we've got to come back tomorrow now. I'm not sure if you guys have counted how many times I've bent over, but I think it must be close to 500 times to pull out all of the big weeds there. Once we've done that, the lawnmower will fly through that section. And then we'll take a couple of dead limbs off of the apricot tree out before we go. Whether or not it tastes good, I don't know. Maybe some of you can let me know if you've tried it. But yeah, this very common weed that you probably have some prickly lettuce in your garden. All right, we'll stop tree here in terrible condition. As you can see, some of these limbs are completely dead. But to be honest, this tree is going to die over the next few years. So if this tree was any bigger, it would probably be at risk of collapsing. Lucky this tree here is not around anything dangerous, and it's not. You can introduce a lot of rot into the trunk, which I think is what's happened here. As a result, it hasn't really been making very much fruit, Athens tells me. It will continue rotting, and eventually it could just collapse. This apricot has been here for at least 35 years, so it's probably lived quite a good life. I'm going to use this handsaw here because, believe it or not, this is probably going to be a lot easier than my chainsaw. This wood is so hard, and I would need something much better. All right, that'll take a little bit of weight off of that limb and it'll let the lawnmower get under there a bit easier now. So, all right. Oh, he's pretty camouflaged with my gloves, sorry. But he hasn't dropped his tail on me, which is good. But let's go put him some. I've got my crowbar at home and we don't have any more time to come back. So this panic belt grass might just have to get cut back. That's part of the shed. I'm just going to put... Absolutely everywhere, bricks, plastic, tarp, you name it, it's all coming out. So maybe when I get 1 million subs, just came out from underneath my lawnmower. All right, well, we better hope you got away. Alright, I'm going to leave all this mulch here on the lawn. It's not going to hurt, and it's actually probably just going to slow it pretty messy. I'll try to touch it up a little bit. I don't have the means to deal with it, unfortunately. This has set me back so much. I did not expect this to be a never-ending dump. I can do without actually removing the weed mat, which is what I wanted to do, but I'm just not going to have the time. I spent about 20 hours on the part 2 of this backyard this time. I think we've definitely made this place acceptable, and the landlord won't be hassling Athens anymore. As for all the rubbish arranging, I'm really grateful for Athens letting me leave some of that general waste in that blue bag that I got her, because it wouldn't even fit in the skip if she didn't watch that episode. Just so some of you guys who didn't watch those episodes can see what this place truly looked like before. So I hope you guys enjoy them.